Imagine living in a country where the government is shutting down accountability in Parliament, through the courts and on the streets, by imposing new laws to rob millions of workers of their right to strike, lock millions out of the electoral process, and strip back the rights of its citizens to protest. A country which Human Rights Watch says could soon make the list of countries that abuse rather than protect human rights, where an unelected Prime Minister with no mandate plans emergency legislation to disapply human rights laws, legislate barefaced lies, and threatens to join Russia and Belarus outside the European Convention on Human Rights if he doesn't get his way. Well, all that's happening right now today in this country, and we have got to put aside our political differences and unite to stop it.
I'm determined to do everything it takes to make that happen, and that means bringing forward emergency legislation that will declare that Rwanda is safe.
The UK's highest court has unanimously ruled Rwanda is not a safe third country for the government to send asylum seekers. In a unanimous judgment, the Supreme Court agreed with the Court of Appeal that there are substantial grounds for believing that asylum seekers removed to Rwanda would face a real risk of being returned to their home country, where they could face ill treatment. That would put the UK in breach of its obligations under international and domestic law. What the Prime Minister is now planning is to introduce emergency legislation to disapply human rights laws, ignore the court's judgment and the facts, and confirm Rwanda is safe, even though he knows that to be completely untrue. He actually wants Parliament to legislate away the facts and the UK's international obligations. He wants Parliament to legislate a barefaced lie to achieve his aims.
Whether it's the House of Lords or the Labour Party standing in our way, I will take them on.
The Conservatives may have a working majority in the Commons, but Sunak is going to be asking MPs to blindly vote with the government to legislate a barefaced lie. Just think about that. He'll be asking them to ignore the facts, disapply human rights laws, and confirm Rwanda is safe when they know that to be false. Now, Downing Street will introduce a bill to Parliament a week Monday after next week's autumn statement, and Number 10 plans to fast-track the bill through the Commons and the Lords. So now is the time for action. Now is the time to contact your MP and ask them to do the right thing and vote to stop this.
After all these years, we don't have a majority in the House of Lords.
Sunak knows his government can be stopped in the House of Lords, where the Conservatives don't have a majority. It can be stopped with something called a fatal motion, a rare parliamentary procedure that could kill off the passage of the government's legislation. It's the strongest possible opposition which can be taken in the House of Lords. But to do this, peers from all parties will need to unite and do the right thing. If Labour, the Liberal Democrats, SNP and yes, Conservative peers of conscience unite and work together, we can block the government rushing through a law overturning a Supreme Court decision. We can actually stop this government from legislating a barefaced lie and disapplying human rights laws to achieve its aim. So let's do this. Let's unite and stand together. Let's do what we know in our hearts to be the right thing. Let's work cross-party and stop this completely out of control government once and for all.